Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode from WhaleJaw 3D. On episode 14, we're still grinding our way through it. But it is looking good, I'm enjoying it. Looks good enough for me. There's questionable pieces in it, but unless you're a professional, you probably won't notice. Otherwise, comment below what's wrong with that image. Yeah, I'll try and keep the intro short this time. Kinda did like a 10-minute intro on last episode, but the last episode was very good. I taught you many things in that episode. It was brilliant. Which means we can just keep picking pace up, you know what I mean? We basically built this here, didn't we? Turbo. Or wherever that noise is. Was it surge? It's the surge noise. It's basically air rushing past a gap that's too tight. A vacuum. That's it. It's the vacuum. Some flutter. I never could do that noise. Yeah, we built that, didn't we? There's probably, in our little intro, something worth discussing. So, while we drink us tea then, what's a hot topic worth discussing? I was thinking about it while I was editing it, and I probably should have covered this at the end of the last episode, but it was an hour long, so it's a nice little tea break waffle. So, looking at this image, what can you say is different? We can visually see, if we put our information on, we can see that this is a different colour to the main body. Basically, I've made a separate object from that body after spending 10 hours basically telling you, let's crank some typology and do hard surface modelling and put it all together in one object. Why have I then separated this object from, say, this? Why can't we just print it all in one? Well, the first thing, there's many reasons, basically. So, let's discuss them. Load up. There it is. I gotta get it out. It's the talking, it makes me burp. I like chug tea and that makes me burp. There we go. There's many reasons why I have separated this object. One of the main obvious ones is we're going to 3D print it. But even if I wasn't 3D printing, I still would have separated this object because it's a different colour from the rest of the car, isn't it? So it's a lot easier to change the colour when it's just its own object, you know what I mean? That's two reasons. What's another reason? Another reason is, in the future, say this, we're going to want to rotate it, aren't we, like to animate it, yeah? So we won't be able to do that if it's all fused in with that model, will we? We don't want that. We probably could if it were fused into this one, but at the same time, it all needs to be separate, doesn't it? So when it comes to 3D printing, we don't really necessarily have to worry about this because, say with this object, we're trying to create like a water bottle, aren't we? A manifold object is what they call it. We're trying to create like the thinnest wall possible to achieve as little wastage as possible. Because if you'd used lots of little objects, you can have loads of cavities, resin gets trapped in there and stuff like that. We can't do that, you know what I mean? So we've built a perfect, like, the whole structure pretty much perfectly. And then after the fact, there's only a few things that aren't that colour, you know what I mean? Say the wheels, which you're always going to print separately. Like this intake and this intake, you know what I mean? We could print those separately, yeah? If we wanted to, say like this, it's actually the same colour as the car. We could integrate it by getting it some Control J and like faffing the geometry in, but it's really handy because that's like a blank area. It's like isolation point, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's really handy to be able to just select that area so we can do things with it, you know what I mean? Like grab it, move it, stuff like that. Yeah? So with that in mind, obviously, if we print that as well, what we can do is print these two separate here. And we could put like a little pin in there so we could like spin this. So in our model would actually be realistically like a functioning model, you know what I mean? It'd work. So that's why we've kept all that separate. And for now, we're just going to leave it. If you watched the last episode, I pushed those things way back out of the way, you know what I mean? Because they looked a bit funky for me. But overall, we've pretty much got it. I also had a creative kind of like executive decision. I decided to make that like shiny, whereas that's black. It looked really boring when it was black, you know what I mean? So it's up to you, you know what I mean? We're artists, you make your own decision. Well, I felt like that needed to be a bit more prominent, you know what I mean, to give it a bit of detail on the front. So waffle over, tea's done, and we'll crack on. What do we want to achieve in this episode then? we've pretty much done that area, haven't we? We've done all that we need. We need to now come across to the side. And we need to do some of this madness on the side, I think. It's going to be hectic. If we remember, we turned our references off, so we've got to put the old eye melters back on. We don't need that one, do it. So, with the old retina obliterators, we can ignore the fact that I didn't follow that. But we can look here, and we can basically see we've got 2 pipes, haven't we? They probably are going to be quite simple to make, and we've got like a circular thingamabob. If you've also been watching, we've got a circular thingamabob that needs to go in like that area there, but I forgot to put it in, so that'll get done at some point. So, with our reference images, do we have a good enough image to understand what's going on? So I don't think we do. I might have to get... That looks like a little turbo, if I'm honest. So, what we need to do is we need to get a better reference image, don't we? Let me check. So looking at this reference image, it's extremely shiny, it's really good. We need to... I can't really tell, but it looks like a turbo with a wastegate coming off it, you know what I mean? I feel like we have some kind of like freedom here to do as we please. Because it's not really clear as to what that is, you know what I mean? It's probably just some add-on stuff, but I think it's trying to be some kind of turbo. That looks like some kind of turbo housing, doesn't it? So if we just make it up, yeah? So we're obviously going to do all this with individual shapes, aren't we? So if I just have a tidy up, chuck a scene stuff in your scene stuff and close it off. That's my floor. We've got an empty that we probably don't need anymore. So I'll just chuck in the scene stuff. Makes me anxious thinking I might need it one time. We've got many cylinders now, haven't we? So it's probably worth now coming through and putting some names on these to make it a lot easier to find them in the future, yeah? It might even be worth putting all this in a group as well, wouldn't it? So, create a new collection. We'll call it the intake fan. And we basically go around and we select all of those objects so we know which ones they are. And we just drag it into intake fan, yeah? We should be able to then just turn it off and make sure we haven't missed anything, which we have, and it's that one. So if we now turn it back on, we can confidently come through here and start renaming fan blades. And if you remember, I was teaching you to use an underscore, not a space. So what do we call these? Pigeon guards, pole, and what else we've got? This is interesting. It's probably got a 5mm walnut. This is a 370mm intake. Just if you're a car guy, you know what I mean? That's funny. You know what I mean? Intake. It's changed colour now. Ah, I liked the other colour. Never mind. And we basically tied it up, that little area, haven't we? We can knock it off if we want. We've got this one. We ain't even named that, maybe. So let's call it. Oh my god, it's purple now. Oh my god. What's this one? So now we've tied it up, we can start adding more layers, can't we? That was the point, because it was getting a bit crazy. What we need to do is, we give it some Shift S, you should be good at that now, and we put our cursor back to world origin, which is there. We can start adding new stuff and it'll appear there, if you remember. We're probably going to need, what we're going to need. Let's go for a cylinder. Because we're in orthographic, we can just say rotate 90 and it'll do it, you know what I mean? We don't have to if we press tab, and we make it so we can see through, bring it out like that, we need to make that object, don't we? So if we scale it up to like round about there, scale the line, like that, we can kind of make a start, can't we? Now what I'm looking at, we've got no reference, have we? So we're making this up. If this is our turbo housing, it makes no sense this time. Where's it going? Where's it coming from? You know what I mean? It feels like the car's this way, and your intake's coming in this way. So would this be? So it'd be the injector, wouldn't it? So it'd inject the fuel there. And what would this be here? This would be like some kind of... Even though the air's here. Why have we got 2 air intakes? That don't make sense. What? We've got 3 air intakes. We've got an air intake there, we've got an air intake there, and we've got an air intake here. So this is like a booster, isn't it? So that'll be for your engine, and that'll be for your turbo intake. So all this here must be something to do with the guns, because we've got guns here, haven't we? So is this to do with... It's a hydraulic system, isn't it? So we don't want to build a turbo. Fun facts about the Batmobile, eh? Who knew? So if we select this face, we're definitely going to want to inset it and extrude it a few times, aren't we? So I'm turning it around so you can see, but we're going to inset it, yeah? We're going to do one of them. Well, we need to do it in this one, don't we? So if we inset it, so we can kind of see, I can just see it, I don't know whether you can. And then if we just bump it out, you know what I mean? Actually give yourself a chance. What we need to do there, don't we, is just start following that shape there. What we can see is that was way smaller than I thought it was going to be. So you can come in, use Alt and Select, obviously, and just scale her up, basically, you know what I mean? Make it work. It's just a guide, so don't go too crazy. Looks like we need to make like a lip there, don't we? So if we extrude and scale, and just knock it over, so we've got some kind of separation, and we need to extrude on the Y. Which way are we facing? That way, Y. Do the same. Extrude the scale. Knock it out a bit so we can see it. See, we need to come down a little bit more, don't we? So like that. And then it looks like we've got a fancy bend here, don't we? How we're going to tackle that? So let's give it an extrude and see what goes off. If we pull out a circle like that, and then we rotate it like this, we can see it's technically shrinking the size of that hole into it, kind of thing. That illustration would say that's okay, but there is tools to make that a better, you know what I mean, curve. But at the same time, I'm kind of gonna use my eyes, rotate it a bit more so that the cut's gonna work. We give it a loop cut there now, and just give it a G. Like that. We've kind of simulated the pie cut, haven't we? You know what I mean? You could maybe scale it up, just a fraz, work it in, and if we get Control B, we can effectively make a really nice transition, you know what I mean? Without getting too crazy with it. If we check on it, you know what I mean? It don't look bad. There's better ways of doing that, but... So we need to now create a corner on this, don't we? So if we extrude out on that there, the corner's going to be like halfway in, isn't it? So if we put one there like that, that's where the start of the corner is. What we need to do is go in and make sure we've got an empty face for a kickoff, which never have filled it. If we then select this loop here, we need to duplicate this loop. So if we give it some Shift and D, we've duplicated it. Can you see it there? If we right click or put it back, what we need to do is turn that on the Z, or we need to kind of straighten it out. We can probably do that with, probably give it a rotate like that. It's pretty much there, isn't it? So if we give it a rotate on the 90, on the Z, we've basically found where we want to send it, haven't we? If we're coming our front view, we're still kind of like in line, aren't we? With that one there. So what we need to do is send it in. Now we've created all this honker stuff, haven't we? So we don't know, we kind of don't know how far it's going to go in, but we do know we need a 90, don't we? So we need to create a 90 there, don't we? How can we do that? If we select both of those loops, that one and that one, what we can do is come into, is it vertex? We need our bridge edge loops in edge. The clue's in the name, bridge edge loops, yeah? So if we click that one, we have this box down here, don't we? Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. My fat head's that way. Now, I can't see what it's saying there, but one of these is going to increase, there it is, that one. It's going to increase how many segments we have to like make that corner work, yeah? We can see our corner might be a little too tight. It's too tight. So what we need to do is obviously correct that, don't we? So if we press undo on that, we obviously need to send that loop down a bit further, don't we? Let me turn them references off, they're melting my eyeballs. So if we pull it back there, then we probably obviously want to go forward a bit more, don't we? Because that was We're just too tight, lad. You know what I mean? And we can try it again. So if we select them, edge, bridge edge loops, and we don't want the twist. I think that's what it says. We want them ones, don't we? 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of smushing in a bit too much there. 2 is probably going to be our boy, isn't it? Because once we subdivide it, I don't know, I want more. So, I want at least 3. 5 it'd be nice. That looks good, doesn't it? But we can see it's crunching up our geometry, so... See, what might be happening here, I think we've kind of got it there, but what it might be happening here, I keep preaching it, my scale's all kinds of funny, isn't it? So, if we come in, undo that, because it's not working, is it? So, we go back to that stage, and we apply the scale. I'm going to apply everything, all at once, because we've transformed as well, haven't we? Yeah? So we need to come in here now, and we should be able, it should work this time. Bridge edge loops, it's already looking better. If we put the segments in, look at that, look, they're working now. It's because our scale was off, or is it working? Probably one too many in there, I wanted 5. You know what I mean? It's alright, it's not the best, but at least it's something, you know what I mean? We're not going to see that inside. We could probably relax that. Well, that's the bridge loop tool, you know what I mean? It's handy if... It can be handy. I mean, that's designed the pie cuts for you, you know what I mean? You could go in and weld that sucker. I've probably just made it too tight, but I kind of like that it's like twisting upwards a little bit, gives it a bit of definition. Just too tight, lad. It looks like you've got to go twice the width of the circle, if that makes sense. It looks like you need, say like that's one width of the circle, we need to come out to that bit there, so it's like 2 widths of the circle to give it a chance, and then it might be the same like on the inside. It might be the same for the inside, like that's 1 there, isn't it? So it might be worth chucking it 1 away to give it a chance to rotate itself in. Yeah? This is interesting, that's a really good tool. I just might be not very good at using it, you know what I mean? This is how you use it, lads. Get some more segments. Yeah, there you go. Makes loads more sense. With that logic, you've got to be at least 1 hole away, because you've got to give it a hole to turn around, you know what I mean? Look at that. Beautiful. Oof. So, probably give that a fill and an insert, like that. Then obviously you could 3D print that. That'd be a dreamy, you know what I mean? Just bang a hole in there, wash it out. Job's so good, and you could even put a skin on it if you wanted, and just print it that way, but I like to do solid objects like that. And then just let the computer hollow it out for you. This will probably be that small, you'd want to just print it as a solid thing anyway, you know what I mean? So give that a fill. We might need to extrude these in a little bit more, you know what I mean? So get some... So, there we have it. I basically made some stuff. You know what I mean? We can pull them in, that's not a problem. But the next thing on the list is to make this big circle thing here. It looks a very interesting shape, shall we say. That's going to be probably a doddle, if I'm honest. It looks crazy, but we should be able to get it. Looks like we're going to be using our bridge tool, aren't we? So, we should have reference of it anyway, shouldn't we? Yeah, we've got like the basic idea what shape we want. So, it's been an hour. Should we have a tea break? I've figured out a light solution. I'm sick of looking like Dracula on the camera. If I turn that off, yeah, kind of like a bit of ambience lighting on my face. It makes me not look like death. Those night episodes I looked very pale, you know what I mean? It's this white screen that's making me look dead pale. I'm not. I'm not a vampire, I promise. So, first thing I'm going to do is while I drink my tea, I'm going to do that little circle thing there. I don't know what it is, I don't really care. It's basically like, woo, get to do what we want. There's kind of some fuss there, I don't really understand what that is. So we could probably like fill it out, you know what I mean? But otherwise, it's kind of looking alright. This back bit here, yeah, this back bit here, we're going to have to correct that at another time, but just ignore that for now, you know what I mean? We basically need, once we've finalised the model, we can start filling in the geometry. Yes? So, what we need to do is that little circle thing there then, don't we? Well, it might even be worth... It feels amazing that I kind of got the depth right, you know what I mean? Because I thought it were a bit too deep, but it's fine. So we need to do a big circle thing, don't we? Let me drink my tea, so I don't have to talk. You know how to make a circle, don't you? So there we go. We've made ourselves a circle thing. Blends in, gives a bit of detail to our engine. Looks good, doesn't it? Just peeks out a little bit. Our main feature is going to be this thing here. This is the thing that's probably going to be worth showing you, you know what I mean? So, no more time lapsing. We need to basically make, if we add another rotate it so we can see it. Bring it over here. This time I've just used a circle of vertices rather than a cylinder, you know what I mean? Just so it's not as heavy. We can see we've kind of got the circle there, haven't we? It's not far off. What we might need to do, if we just scale the Y, we might be able to achieve that same... We have! Boom! Straight away. And then, if we go into edit mode, press 1 on. If you remember we've messed up that scale, we can start to like marry in that shape, can't we? And it should kind of... No. We need to achieve that rotation first, don't we? So when we move it, kind of like... So let's go to rotate. Energy. We know we've got the size. We say about there. That's our intake there. Oh, she's a big old girl. You know what I mean? So we can see that our pipe's a bit of an issue, can't we? If we come back into our side view and we have a look, it's not an issue. It's because we've got to move that, haven't we? So if we come back in here, that oval is a really nice oval, isn't it? We just need to kind of match that top in there, don't we? This bit here. So if we give that a scale on the Y to like kind of marry that shape in, we've got it just using scale, haven't we? I'm going to go for the outer, I don't know, what looks the best, you know what I mean? You're an artist, judge your circles. An artist is someone that can draw a perfect circle, a graphic designer is someone that can draw a perfect straight line. So, be an artist. I'm going to scale it a bit more on the Y to like kind of make it a little bit rounder. Amazing. We've made that shape really simply. If we just check on it, it looks absolutely sock on. Like, I don't know where I got that expression sock on from, but you know what I mean, I've got it. So if we select everything, get some Shift D, lad, send it down the Y, you know what I mean? Kind of match it to there. That's where kind of we need to. That back rounded edge is sock on, as we would say. But obviously we need to kind of like scale that on the Y to a 0. We kind of need it like that way, don't we? We need it to do that. But then we need to send it in here. That's kind of what it's doing, I think. You know what I mean? So if we pull it to like there, and then get some rotate on the Z, to like sock her in a little bit, you know what I mean? We're basically going to send her in about there. If we move it in, that's about as far as we can go. It's probably going to want some scale. Press about 12 buttons. If we get some of this, we can see like we've lost our round shape, haven't we? And if we scale the Z down to like kind of find that groove, you know what I mean? This one here might be worth sending it up a bit. Once we add geometry, it should like belly and follow that line in, shouldn't it? So now we've done that, we're going to need to try and... We're going to need to try and blend that sucker in, aren't we? We can see it's touching our thing there. If we look on our image, we can see that front edge kind of like comes in anyway, don't we? So we need to manipulate this one a bit better. We need to kind of like bend it better, don't we? So if we select these ones, say, and we put see-through on so we get them all. What we can do is say... Ooh, what did that do? We can shift and right click our 3D cursor there. And we can say rotate around that 3D cursor. What we can do is like kind of match, say, this angle here with that bit there. Then we can do the same with this one. We can kind of like say we really want to like flange it out. We need to miss that, don't we? So if we say like there, this middle one, then we could just give it some GG. You know, our favourite tool. You know what I mean? Smooth it out. That one there, some GG. Oof, laddie. And you've got yourself kind of like that intake shape, haven't you? That was really fun to do. I don't know whether how good that is to watch, but that was mint to do. Feels like it's poking out a little bit too much there, but if we check here, look, we can see it is poking out a little bit too much in it, kid. So what we can do is do shift and right click again, just to rotate, and we can kind of like yeet them in. You know what I mean? If we then just match those then, see what happens. It's all trial and error, isn't it? You know what I mean? Right, we've kind of got that shape now, haven't we? It's coming together. So it does feel like we've kind of got a better shape now, doesn't it? It's like it's doing that. See like this really long bit here, this half that just like runs all the way down the car. And I've just noticed there's like a little flange there, so we're going to have to bring that flange in at the bottom. It's not a problem. That's actually really good. It fills it out. It needs a splitter. So that shape is not bad, I don't think. We just need to obviously adjust it to suit, you know what I mean? This one here. If we go back to our individual origins, we can start to use our gizmo again. And if we like try and get the best shape we can, that's pretty good. We could even go round using, let me turn them references off. Oof, they're melting my eyeballs. I can't wait to. A good thing to do would have been inverting them. Well, once we've selected that loop, we could probably press a relax like that, look, and it's going to relax that shape for us a lot more. It's like the top and the bottom's curling in, but I'm not so bothered about that. Come to our side view, check our reference. It's because of this, we can see it. Look, we need to scale that on the Y a bit more. No, we just need to move it in. If we move it in like that, then we can get that one, get some GG. Let's move it in. Then that one, GG. If we check our shape again, it's coming along. We obviously need to go in again, smooth it off with our GG. Turn those off so we're not melting our eyebrow. If you've got an HDR TV, you know exactly what's going off there. You know where you're like, it's too bright. It's just too bright. So let's just fill these out. Want to having the bottom come out a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like a scooping effect. So if we just, I really like this shape. Oh, what a cool shape that is. So there's probably a tool for this, but you know what I mean? It's this is like a big feature part of the car, so I really do want to get this like cock on, you know what I mean? We're getting there. There's a lot. I thought I would have done this by now, you know what I mean? But look at that lovely teardrop shape on like a curve. It's. Should we have a go at flattening it? Let's select this here. The trouble is it's on a 45. That's the thing, you know what I mean? Once you rotate it, you lose your shape. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna trust. What if we say flatten? Magical. Click that button, it flattens it. Yes, that's kind of what we needed, didn't we? So if we've flattened it, do we kind of want to scoop her in as well? You know what I mean? Like get some of that. I feel like it's got to have a little bit of a tilt like that. You know what I mean? Look at that absolute cracker of an intake. I enjoyed that intake. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We've basically done it. We've done that side. We've just got to do the same now for that rear, haven't we? That's another sitting. There's got to be at least a tea break before then. I'm telling you. I'd like to finish it in this episode, though. It's like a victory episode, isn't it? It's got to be done before Christmas. It's the 19th today. I can't do any more after today, so I'm going to smash it tonight. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to put it all together. So, let's say tea break. Yeah. Time, 7:30. Right, Jesus. I've also noticed we've got to do some kind of like splitter thing here, you know what I mean? We've got to like sort that bottom out and do something with it, yeah. But, oh my days. Oh my days. Yeah, we've got to sort that out before we can even think about going to the rear. But that looks properly difficult, that does. Let me have my tea break and we'll figure it out. stare at my blueprints a little bit. I could just find more blueprints, but I'm one of those guys, I'm so stubborn. Like, nope, this tiny little area that we've got here. This area here is what we're going for. That's all we've got. It clearly sucks in round there and then wraps into that there, doesn't it? It's a bad-ass shape. And then it's probably going to, like, circulate around it. So we're going to have to do some major surgery on this there. Because we've got, like, a square hole. We need to make it like an S shape that goes round, don't we? So I think we've got to sort that out. In the middle, a bit more. Look at that, boys. Look at it. Oh, god damn! We got some detail. It's from the front view. That's done, isn't it? Apart from the wheels. Went to put a sub D on it. Yeah. Let's try and sub D's. Make sure we're all on. You know what I mean? Check it out, boys. Boys. Probably need to change the colour of that, but it's whatever. Right? We just need wheels now. What time are we on? 9 o'clock. I might be able to squeeze some wheels out tonight. That was an hour and a half sitting, so I need to. We're finishing it. Oh no, I've got to do the back. Oh no, that's 3 hours. It's going to take me till midnight. Easy. Let's crank. Let's go. But no, I'm happy. We're done. We're done. Press save. Go make a brew. Let's go make a brew. There we go. A bit of colour in it. God damn, boy. Tea break. Another thing that complements tea. A ham sandwich with some proper butter. Oh, we've got a tall order on. I'm thinking we're just going to stick some T's on it, you know what I mean? Make the wheels another time. So, I'm probably just going to time-lapse the back as well, because I need to hurry up. And it's pretty much the same principle, you know what I mean? Make a cylinder and just morph it into the shape you want. It's not really anything crazy. I don't know as whether I've got any decent pictures of the rear, to be honest. See, these are my reference images, and it just looks like a big old solid chunk of brass there, doesn't it? It looks simple. 4 tailpipes, I'll be able to duplicate one of them. Cylinder across the back. It's almost flat, isn't it? So, that might be a good thing. Nice big flat chunk of a piece there just to slip in there, you know what I mean? Oof, pardon. There it is. So let me have my cup of tea though. Those wheels do look pretty simple though. We might be able to thrash them out tonight. I don't know. If the girlfriend rings me, we're done for, you know what I mean? So, let's get a shot. She's messaging. I can see her messaging. I say that. That sounds horrible. I don't live with my girlfriend, obviously. We chat a lot on the phone, though. And when I get stuck into something on 3D, I basically disappear for like a week or two. And she's like, right. I neglect my life when I do these things. So it'd probably be worth, as well, duplicating that drawing and then rotating the Z180. Something I would do next time, though, is this. What I'd probably do is that I'd invert them so that my eyeballs aren't as melted, you know what I mean? That would be a lot easier to see, I think, but I didn't do that. It's a lesson learned, and it's something you should learn. If you're going to do blueprints, they're going to burn your eyes out if they're white. Flip them round, you know? So let's get started then. We're going to do a time-lapse on this, so I just want to get cracking, don't we? We know what we need to achieve. It's simple enough. We've got some grooves in it. They'll be no special, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to thrash them in, yeah? I do believe if we chuck our sub-Ds on, we have achieved a rear end. It's basically like a nice simple like plaquette, you know what I mean? That'll sit on the bottom of the 3D printer and it'll print them a piece of Wii, you know what I mean? And then we got this like centre bit just to make it a bit more interesting. I basically duplicated the outside before I put those carves on. That took a very long time to do that shape there, but it's done now, you know what I mean? But I hit the save button, probably worth it. So, what time we on? It's now 10:15, oh my days. What's that took me then? An hour. I am like clockwork with a cup of tea. Literally, on the hour, I'm like, ting, I need a cup of tea. Yeah? So, we're doing well. We've done the side, we've done them bits, shall we turn them on? So we've got a bit of something to look at. You know what I mean? We got his front, we got his side, we got his back. Probably shouldn't show you that far away. Let me show you a better way of looking around something. If we click a camera, and we call it like that. Depth of field's there on your camera if you want it. See, now we're locked into our camera. I can click that object and then I can like spin around it, you know what I mean? So I can give you like a more lovely spin. So we've got his back end. We've not mirrored that side yet. It's worth checking, isn't it? So if we could probably merge all those together, but we need them separate for printing purposes. We're not going to do it. It doesn't matter. It's just a bit of effort. If you press Control A on all your transforms, it'll make sure it'll send it over. It's probably worth doing it on that. Control A transforms, that one. So now we've got our stuff on the other side as well, haven't we? Oh baby. So if we put it in the middle. And go a nice spin on for you now. We can't really see on that side anyway. We've got a golden rear end. I like gold, you know what I mean? So this should be nice to print. Segment there, a couple of fiddly pipes, this bit. All I need to do now is I've missed a thing on here. I need to put like a circle indent thing there. It needs it. It really needs a bit of detail. And then the final thing is I'm going to come down these wings. You see it's chunky there. I'm going to come down and on this back end the wings just look all lumpy and crap, you know what I mean? So I don't know, you can see it, look, that big step in it there. I'm going to come in and finish that off and that'll, I'm going to say it's done, you know what I mean? It will technically be done. I've had to crack out the emergency chocolate bar. We're on the Whisper, I got a 3-pack dinner. It's the last one, so after this I don't know, I can't do any more after this. I put a light on behind me. It's probably shining in my eyes now. Should we go into little goblin mode? I don't want this chocolate. It looks pretty good, that really, doesn't it? I'm dreading doing them wings. They look dreadful though, look at them. They look like a piece of foil that's been screwed up. So first thing we'll do is we'll go for that. That should be pretty straightforward, shouldn't it? We just need a circle and then extrude it in there. I can't see eating my leftover steak. That light is proper annoying. Regret that. Puts ambient light on my face, but it's already hard enough trying to be awake as it is. Yeah, I kind of box it. My eyes are starting to fail me as well. I think I'm not going to be able to go after this. Yeah, my brain's going as well. I'm sure there'll be some kind of like motivational music now, you know what I mean? Like the final push. I think that's actually what the song's called. So let's go. Shall I put my tunes on again? So there we go. We've got a little dimple in. That was simple enough. Did it in the time a tea took to cool down. So next thing is to tackle that wing and that wheel arch there. And that knobbly bit there. We're trucking here, boys. We're doing well. Might be able to squeak some wheels in, I don't know. Doubt it, but we'll have a go. So then, the final push time lapse. So that there. It's a bit chunky. Alright, suck around. done, so fuck it, let's get out. There's nothing but swear at it for about an hour and a half. There's nothing more I could do. Thanks for watching, see you in a bit. I want to sleep. I need a wee.